There's a quiet question that lingers in the minds of good men. The kind of question you don't say out loud because you fear it makes you sound weak or needy. Why does it only feel like love when there's chaos? You think you're doing everything right. You're present, you're consistent. You don't lie, you don't manipulate, you don't disappear. When things get serious, you give her peace. You provide that stable emotional ground that every woman says she wants. And yet, as time passes, something strange happens. She grows cold, distant, bored. Her energy shifts. She pulls away emotionally, and sometimes physically. And now you're in your own head, wondering what went wrong. Did I stop being exciting? Did I become too predictable? Was I never enough in the first place? But the truth is, none of those thoughts reflect reality. What you're bumping up against is a psychological wall, buried deep inside her nervous system and imprint from past experiences, unresolved trauma, or the toxic media she grew up consuming. Somewhere along the line, she internalized the belief that love has to be dramatic to be real. That if there's no tension, no risk of heartbreak, then it must be fake or shallow. So when you show up calmly, without any of that emotional chaos, her mind doesn't register it as passion. It registers it as monotony. She's been conditioned to associate love with anxiety, not safety, and without the adrenaline rush of uncertainty. She feels numb, but that numbness isn't your fault. It's her blueprint. And if she hasn't rewired it, she ends up self-sabotaging the very thing she once claimed to desire. That's the tragedy most men don't see coming. You were never the problem. You were just offering a kind of love she didn't recognize. Peace feels unfamiliar to someone addicted to emotional highs. When you come into her life offering calm, emotional consistency, and security, it disrupts the cycle she's unconsciously used to. She's not intentionally trying to push you away. Her nervous system simply doesn't know what to do with stability. She begins to create tension not because she wants to ruin things, but because that tension is what she equates with connection. She pokes at you, starts arguments over nothing, withdraws emotionally just to see if you'll chase. These aren't games in her mind, they're ways to feel something. When you get jealous, she feels desired. When you argue, she feels alive. When you pull back, she feels that old anxiety again and confuses it with passion. This is the toxic loop she knows. She doesn't love peace, she fears it, because peace feels like disconnection to someone who's only ever known love through chaos. And if she hasn't healed from that pattern, she'll keep repeating it with every good man who walks through her life. You start to feel like you're constantly walking on emotional eggshells just to keep her engaged. But here's what you have to understand. It's not about you. She's chasing a feeling, not a person. She's trying to recreate the adrenaline spikes of uncertainty she wants, called love. And when you don't give her that emotional instability, she panics. She confuses calm with complacency. And that's when the sabotage begins. The arguments, the distance, the sudden claims of not feeling connected. But the only thing missing is the drama. And unless she wakes up to this pattern, she will continue to destroy the very relationships that could actually heal her. All because she's wired to believe love must hurt to be real. When she can't find drama, she'll create it. Not out of cruelty, not out of malice, but because her mind equates emotional chaos with intimacy. It's her way of feeling alive, of checking if the connection is still real. She might withdraw suddenly just to see if you chase. She might bring up petty arguments just to stir emotion in you. If you react, if you break frame, raise your voice, beg, or plead, it confirms to her that there's still emotional energy. In the dynamic, that validation, that reaction, becomes her proof that you still care. But here's the dangerous part. The moment you start chasing her emotional highs, you begin to lose yourself. You start responding to her chaos with your own. You raise your tone to match hers. You start mirroring her silence. You abandon your logic to win her back. And in doing so, you lose your masculine center. You shift from grounded to reactive, from leader to follower. You don't even realize it, but you've now entered her world, where love is measured by the amount of emotional volatility you can endure. That's not love, that's survival mode. And the longer you stay there, the more you become addicted to the same dysfunction she's been living in. This is how good men get broken. Not by bad women, but by losing their alignment trying to manage emotional chaos that was never theirs to carry. You were meant to be the anchor, not the storm. The calm in her confusion, not the fuel to her fire. The moment you try to win her back through emotional games, she starts losing respect for you. Because deep down, even she knows she doesn't want to lead emotionally. She wants to feel your stability. But if you crumble, you only validate her belief that peace is a lie. A woman's confusion is not your responsibility to fix. If her affection only shows up when you're distant, if her desire only ignites when you pull back, that's not love, it's a trauma response. It's a craving for tension disguised as emotional connection. And if you start chasing her approval, chasing the version of her who seemed more invested, you'll fall into the same trap countless men do. You'll start dancing to her rhythm, trying to win back her attention with grand gestures, validation, or emotional availability. But here's the truth. The more you chase her when she withdraws, the less she respects you. Because deep down, Even in her confusion, she's looking for strength, not submission. When you stop reacting, when you stay grounded and unmoved by her emotional turbulence, something shifts. She either begins to confront her own patterns, or she labels your calm as disinterest and walks away. Either way, it protects your peace, because the moment you try to fix what you didn't break, you begin to bleed for wounds that aren't yours. You can't love someone into healing. You can't prove to a chaotic heart that stability is enough. She has to reach that realization on her own. You must resist the urge to shrink, to bend, to change who you are, just to be palatable to her emotional confusion. Your role is not to become reactive. It's to be rooted, solid, still, and in that stillness, you reveal the truth. Whether she was ever capable of real intimacy, or just searching for another storm to survive, let her confusion stay hers. You don't have to carry it. You don't have to fix it. You only have to protect the man you've built by refusing to be pulled into patterns you've already outgrown. Your strength as a man isn't proven by how much dysfunction you can endure, it's proven by how calmly you can walk away from it. You don't need to be the fixer. You don't need to be the savior. Your peace is your power, and the right woman will never make you feel like you have to abandon it just to keep her attention. The truth is, a woman who hasn't healed will call your calm boring. She'll call your emotional stability cold. She'll say something's missing, but what's missing isn't love, it's the chaos she's used to. And when you don't participate in the emotional games, she'll mistake your boundaries for distance. She'll say you changed, when all you really did was stop performing. But that's exactly what separates a man who's rooted in himself from one who's just reacting to her waves. The man who chooses peace over chaos, presence over panic, standards over struggle, that man becomes unforgettable. Not because he begged, not because he chased, but because he didn't. You see, the healed woman won't run from your calm. She see it as strength. She melt into it because she's no longer looking for emotional roller coasters to feel alive. She's not addicted to adrenaline. She's ready for depth. She admire your restraint. She'll respect your boundaries. And most importantly, she'll bring her own stillness to meet yours. That's the woman you build with, the one who values silence, not because it's empty, but because it's sacred. So if a woman needs chaos to feel love, let her go. Let her chase the fire while you build the foundation, because eventually, storms run out of rain. And when she looks back, it won't be the chaos she remembers, it'll be the man who never flinched in the middle of it.